I wanted to go back to one other thing and just comment when you were talking about growth and the new buildings. That's awesome. I think I want to go out and look at some pictures of your repurposed Sears building. Sears buildings are iconic in many cities. So that's great. You're using it in a different way. And the challenge of trying to build new towers and think out 50 years. I know when I was CIO at Brigham and we built a new tower and we had a visioning session and we talked 30 years, I'm like, 30 years. Do we really know what things are going to look like in 30 years? So it is a huge challenge in terms of planning for technology and infrastructure for these new buildings, but I assume that you have a good plan at this point for those new towers.
Well, it's developing, right? And we have to start thinking about, if we're thinking even 20 years out and we think about more care happening in the home, as we have
Right.
heard so much about, like what ends up being the purpose of a facility, a big hospital facility in the next, 20 to 50 years. And I think it ends up being really the tertiary care, like super high acuity, flexible space that we need. So we're thinking about things like, should every room be able to be converted into an
Yep.
ICU room at the drop of a dime, for instance,
Yep.
right? And when you think about flexibility, not necessarily designing them for one specific specialty in mind, but being adaptable, that you could bring in those services. And if it needs to change or flip, then it's not a many millions of dollars project. It's an operational change, right? So those are the kind of things that we're trying to think about. And how can we think about our system as connected and everything being an input or an output, so that you're thinking about real-time traffic control across all these different entities, including in
Mhm.
the home, and being able to anticipate when someone needs to come in or if they really shouldn't, that we understand that and can respond to it more effectively in real time, right? So hopefully that's how the industry starts to evolve over time, just not waste individual people's time, and make people feel better about the answers and the care that they're getting, so they feel confident staying at home, for instance, if that's where they belong, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hospital at home. Do you have a hospital at home program?
we are approved by CMS with the waiver, and we are beginning to work more diligently on actually bringing some beds online. And hopefully within the next year, we're seeing patients in the home. Right now, for us, it's really a strategy around, since we are busting at the seams in our current campus setup, we need more space, and lower acuity space would be great. So this is a
Mhm.
good short-term solution, but hopefully evolves long-term into a more comprehensive model.